used to say about Kurt. They wanted to believe that Kurt Cobain would roll out of bed, take some drugs, and write a fucking classic. Kurt Cobain, as a lyricist, as a songwriter, as a visionary, was a fucking assassin. He was great at what he did, and it's a shame he didn't do more of it, because he was fucking great at what he did. And he let people believe that he was the guy who was like, oh, yeah, how many nights do you think there, long before Nirvana, that he sat in a fucking basement trying to figure out, why does this chord go with this chord? And listen to Nirvana's early demos, listen to Nirvana's first album, listen to the second album. His voice is changing. It's not just changing physically. He's finding the character of Kurt Cobain.
Kurt was a big Metallica fan, and he loved Ride the Lightning, and he loved Whiplash. And I could remember when we played in Seattle in, I think it was 1992, Kurt came to the show, and he was in the snake pit, our little area on the stage. And I remember the entire time that we were playing, he kept on waving his arms at me. And, I went over there to see what he had to say, because I could actually, hear what he said in between songs. And his one question to me was, are you guys going to play Whiplash tonight? And we did, and we played Whiplash, and he was just loving it.
Nirvana, to me, was the most significant thing since the Beatles. I loved him. He was amazing.
So sad, because imagine, maybe we wouldn't even have half of the music we have right now if he was still around. Maybe he would be inspiring people to write great music still.
I was one of those jerk little kids who was like, whatever's popular, I don't like that, right? And I realized kind of almost too late that was exactly what Kurt was into, was the fact he was like, no, I don't want us to be this big. It's hard to relate to musicians who act like gods, It's like way different when they're real people and that, and that kind of comes through. And then they're kind of amazing in their own way, but he's like the ultimate of that.
I'm only 27, so when they were popping, I was really, really young, but the melodies and just how simple, but him as a writer and how he put his stuff together, like Drum said, it reaches so many people and so many ages, and it's just timeless.
I think maybe in a situation where all these people want a piece of you, where you're being pursued by tabloid newspapers, to be in these weird situations might drive one to extremes. When that around you is so excessive, the money, the attention, the hype, the hysteria, all of that, perhaps something in your own life might rise to that occasion, and that might get out of your control. Also, a lot of people, they're brilliant, and they're very sensitive, and perhaps they're not ready for the brutality of mass acceptance. And that's the word that describes it best: brutal.
What he did should not be judged by anyone on the planet.
Yeah, nobody knows what he went through.
Nirvana put out a record that did nothing, and their next record exploded. We don't sell 1/5, 1/6, 1/10 of the records they sell, and I don't like the pressures that I have. I know he doesn't like the pressures he has. Right. And think of the pressure that dude had.
Nugent said he's glad Cobain is gone. He made his feelings known while hosting a nationally syndicated radio show Monday.
Kurt Cobain was the perfect example of the toxic underbelly of disgusting denial that permeates our society today. He was a weenie. I'm glad he's dead. Kurt Cobain's daughter has only one hope to have a decent life, and that's that if that toxic slut of a heroin-addicted mother would die, so maybe the baby would get in the hands of someone who cares and can actually be a loving parent.
Like what he did, like Nevermind, that album was very impactful for its time. And I listened to the album. I bought that album back in 2016 for the first time when I was getting into Kurt Cobain and stuff like that. It talks about a lot of subjects about his state and his state of mind at that point, Like most of the rappers that I know is either antisocial, bipolar, schizophrenic. Most of the best artists are like that.
I heard some people talk about you as the Kurt Cobain of our time. What do you think about that?
I identify with what he went through, I can assure you of that. I know I speak to, and the band speaks to, a lot of the generation of today. So I know he did of his time. So, that's a comparison, but I don't know, that's a pretty big, tall order to fill.
Die.
The only person that inspires me, the word inspire, the only person that inspires me is Kurt Cobain, because I feel like he went out with his mystique. Anybody that can die with their mystique definitely completed what they started. Because he died a character. Nobody ever got to see the other side of him. Nobody ever got to see that human side of him. And I definitely want to like conquer that. I want to definitely become my persona altogether. So I mean, he did it right as fuck, man.